So welcome everyone to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. This week we are having a special series called as Krishna Kathamrta series. We'll be meditating on the pastimes of Lord Krishna before his appearance on Friday. Today our speaker is Her Grace Savitri Mataji, and we are very fortunate to have her on the call, and she will be talking on the topic Krishna pleases his devotees. This is from the Bhagavatam. So we are very, very eager, Mataji, to hear from you. You can now take over the call. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Priti Vilasini. Thank you everyone for joining us. Please accept my obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada, all goes to all the Vaishnavas. Yes, we are going to hear one wonderful pastimes of Krishna. There are two pastimes in one chapter, that is chapter number 86, canto 10. Arjuna kidnaps Subhadra and Krishna blesses his devotees. I told Krishna pleases his devotees. So the second pastime we will discuss more. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Yadashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Thapitam Male Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sakujatam Savana Raghunatham Nitam Tam Saji Sadvaitam Savdutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Nitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namastute Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvaya Vacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this week we are hearing about Krishna's pastimes, Krishna Lila Katha, Lila Smaranam, very appropriate and wonderful. As we know, there are two kinds of Krishna Lila. One is known as Nitya Lila, another is known as Naimittik Lila or occasional Lila, Bhauma Lila. Nitya Lila is going on in the Golok Dham and also in Vaikuntha. He is Aishwarya Vigraha Narayan, who presides in Vaikuntha's spiritual planets, and specifically in Golok Dham, Krishna Nitya Lila is going on eternally, the pastimes. And the Bhauma Lila is when Krishna appears in the material universes and perform his Leelas, that is called Bhauma Lila or Prakat Lila. Nitya Lila is known as Aprakat Lila, unmanifest. And Bhauma Lila is known as Prakat Lila, which is known as manifest Lila. In Bhauma Lila, we hear Krishna's birth appearance, then Krishna reaches his boyhood, and Krishna then reaches his youth, and then Krishna leaves one abode, goes to another abode, leaves Vrindavan abode, goes to Mathura abode, and from Mathura abode to Dwarka abode. But in Nitya Leela, those things are not there. But that is called unmanifest Leela. When Krishna returns to his abode after displaying his pastimes in Bhauma, Vrindavan, earthly Vrindavan as Prakat Leela, then the Prakat Leela merges into Nitya Leela. And in the Golok Dham, devotees remember the Prakat Leelas in Bhauma, Vrindavan, like Krishna takes birth in Mathura, then goes to Vrindavan, like that, and his childhood pastimes, his boyhood pastimes, and his youth pastimes, his pastimes with the friends and gopis and father and mother, all things they hear in Aprakat Dham or Leela in Golok Dham, Nitya Leela. As we know from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna's manifest Leelas are going on continuously in the material universe, serially, from one Leelas to another, to another, to another, manifest immediately. For example, Krishna's birth Leela, as soon as finished in one Vrindavan, Bhauma Vrindavan, the next second it appears in another Bhauma Vrindavan, somewhere in the material existence or material universes. These are the inconceivable qualities of Krishna simultaneously going on, Nitya Leela and also Bhauma Leela, Aprakat Leela and also Prakat Leelas. Prakat Leelas or Bhauma Leelas or Naimittik Leelas or occasional Leelas are very advantageous for the conditioned souls, us, to attract the attention, attract the consciousness of the conditioned souls. Krishna mercifully manifests his Leelas or pastimes in the material universe. So we can be attracted to Krishna. We will be attentive to Krishna. So these things are for us to purify our existence and to advance, progress in spiritual life, ultimately become eligible to enter into Nitya Leela. Just like we chant Prema Dhvani, right? Nitya Leela Pravishta Jai Om Abhay Charnar Avinda Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Nitya Leela Pravishta Paribrajacharya or Paribrajacharya Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Ki Jai means all our acharyas who have already entered into Nitya Leela, we glorify them. So to make us eligible to enter into Nitya Leela, we must first hear enough, more, or constantly about the manifest pastimes of Krishna. All are very auspicious for us. Like Krishna and Krishna's name, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's abode, all are Krishna. Krishna's form, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, Dhama, Sab Chidananda. Everything is Satchidananda, as good as Krishna. It's inconceivable. There's no difference between Nama, Nami. There's no difference between Rupa, Rupi. There's no difference between Guna, Guni. There's no difference between Leela and Leela Purushottam Krishna. How inconceivable. Absolute truth is this, non-dual absolute truth, Advaita Jnana Tattva. So when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we put ourselves in the position of service. When we hear Krishna's pastimes, we put ourselves into the position of in service. Because all are Krishna, none different from Krishna. So as soon as we come in contact with Krishna Leela, Krishna Guna Smaranam, Leela Smaranam, or hearing or seeing Lord Rupa, hearing or living in the Dhamma, then immediately we put ourselves into the platform of service. We are in service. Living in the Dhamma is this. That means you are in constant service to Krishna. Not at all we are enjoyer in the Dhamma who is living, who are living. That mood is not there, absent, zero. So when you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra also like that, serving the holy name, we are in service. Means constantly we should put ourselves into that platform, in service. So that's why Krishna appears with his name, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, entourage, Dhamma, everything. And all gives us the platform to hear about Krishna, Shrotabhya, to glorify Krishna, Kirtitavya, to meditate upon Krishna, Dheyascha, and Pujyascha, Nityada, worship Krishna. So, ISKCON gives us the platform for the conditioned soul. ISKCON is giving the platform to all the conditioned souls to hear about Krishna constantly, think about Krishna, meditate about Krishna, glorify Krishna, and worship Krishna, and hear about Krishna. There's no difference. We associate with Krishna as soon as we hear Krishna's pastimes. We hear Krishna's holy names. In Mayapur also the whole week this is going on, Krishna Katha week. And also as well as Vyasa Puja week. Right now, big kirtan is going on just across of our apartment. The Pushpa Samadhi, Prabhupada's Pushpa Samadhi, the big celebration is going on. Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja. And now, wonderful kirtan is going on. Although I closed our windows, still, holy name is so powerful and attractive. It is coming to our ear, entering to the ear, the sound vibration deeply into the heart and touching the soul, showering the nectar on the soul. We should keep our ear hole very big and very sharp to receive Krishna through the ear hole. That's why you are hearing Krishna's pastimes. So you can hear very wonderfully Krishna's pastimes, holy name, and associate with Krishna. It's as good as associating with Krishna. There's no difference because these are all transcendental, like Krishna. So in 10th canto, we wonderfully hear from Krishna's here Krishna's pastimes is Swayam Bhagavan's pastimes. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, up to 9th canto, prepares us to understand who Krishna is, what Krishna is, what is absolute truth. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Unless we hear his greatness first, we would not understand his sweetness of Krishna, which is the subject matter of 10th canto, right? So That's why we must have enough understanding, profuse understanding of his greatness first. So we go through from Canto 1 to 9 here very attentively. Then we enter into the sweetness of Krishna, that is Vrindavan Krishna. Unless we hear greatness, we cannot relish the sweetness. We may misunderstand, and it's going on without reading Srimad Bhagavatam serially. If we read directly the 10th canto, we would not believe this is Krishna. The Bharat Devi is Krishna, the baby is Krishna. His leelas would be misunderstood, and it is going on. So systematically, Bhagavatam presents Krishna leelas in such a way that we can relish his Krishna's sweetness in Vrindavan, and our minds would be attracted to Krishna so much, so we would not deviate our mind for a second, would be eligible, will hanker deeply to enter into Nitya Leela, going on constantly in the eternal abode. So, in the beginning, we have the description, which is in Canto 10, about Krishna's appearance and his childhood pastimes, his boyhood pastimes. Later, he leaves Vrindavan and goes to Mathura, then Dwarka. So now I have chosen this chapter, chapter 86. It is known as Arjuna kidnaps Subhadra and Krishna blesses his devotees. The second part of the chapter is very interesting. Time to time I love to read that part. And also this is also very interesting first part, that Arjuna kidnaps Subhadra by the instigation of Krishna. Arjuna kidnaps Subhadra in order to marry her. So that is also interesting for me, because during Ratha Yatra time, or wherever we see Jagannath's deity form, we see three of them, right? Baladev and Subhadra and Krishna. And it's very fascinating for me, very, very transcendentally ecstatic for me to know about Subhadra's tattva. Apparently we know Subhadra was the wife of Arjuna and daughter of Vasudeva and Rohini. Like we have, Krishna has accepted the Baldev as his brother. Similarly, Krishna also accepted Subhadra's very favorite sister, who was the daughter of Rohini and Vasudeva. Sometimes we hear she is the Yogamaya, sometimes we hear she is the Mahamaya, sometimes we hear she is Bhakti Swarupini. So these tattvas are there. Our acharyas very nicely enlightened us. And in Dwarka we know Krishna and Balaram and Subhadra and other wives of or mothers of Krishna, Balaram, wives of Vasudeva, all lived together in Dwarka. Once Arjuna went there, and his mind was agitated in thoughts of Subhadra, and Subhadra was very beautiful. He wanted to marry her, and he stayed in the palace quite some time. He spent his Chaturmasya time. Means right now Chaturmasya is going on like that, 4 months. He stayed in Dwarka palace in a different dress. Means he dressed up as sannyasi, but in his mind he was longing after Subhadra. And finally, by Krishna's permission is Krishna's So instigation, he kidnapped Subhadra because Balram wanted to give Subhadra to Duryodhana in marriage, but Arjuna wanted to marry Subhadra. So this is the pastimes, but it's very deep. This pastime are very deep, as I said. The tattva. Tattva is very important to know about the Leela tattva also. Leela tattva and Krishna tattva all the time. Now we are starting the second part. That part is very much favorite pastime for me, Krishna's pastime. I love to hear that that Krishna blesses his devotees. Why? Krishna is equal to everyone, we hear. So in this pastime, he proved that. Krishna is equally attentive to everyone. Krishna is equally reciprocating with everyone. Krishna is never partial. Of course, he is partial to the devotees, but amongst the devotees, different classes are there, right? Different ranks or different stages are there. So we are going to hear about two devotees. One is King Bahulashya, and another devotee is a Brahman devotee, very simple. His name is Shruta. So Shukadev Goswami was narrating his pastimes to Maharaj Parikshit. So after speaking about that, because Maharaj Parikshit was interested to hear about his grandmother was kidnapped by his grandfather Arjuna. How? She was kidnapped by grandfather Arjuna. So he narrated that pastime. After narrating that, now he started to speak the beautiful pastimes that is known as Krishna blesses his devotees. So in the chapter, the text number 13 is the beginning of this pastime. Krishna blesses his devotees. So in the 13 we hear the first verse. I should read. Some verses I must read because beautiful verses are there. Shri Shuka Uvacha Krishna Syasi Dvija Seshta Shruta Deva Iti Shrutaha Krishnaika Bhaktya Purnartha Shanta Kabir Alampata. Sukadev Goswami continued, there was a devotee of Krishna's known as Shrutadeva, who was a first-class Brahmana, perfectly satisfied by rendering unalloyed devotional service to Lord Krishna. He was peaceful, learned, and free from sense gratification. So he was more than a Brahman, he was a devotee of Krishna and Vaishnava or Krishna. Our goal is to serve Krishna and Krishna. Krishna means who are the devotees of Krishna. Vaishnava is a big term. Devotees of any Vishnu Tattva is known as Vaishnava. Specifically, Krishna devotees are known as Krishna. As a Panchatattva, we worship Krishna, right? Krishna, along with his incarnations, along with his expansions, his energies, we worship Krishna. Together is the absolute truth. So in 13, Shukadev Goswami started to speak about first the Brahmana. And he was a very perfect Brahmana, very humble, simple Brahmana, Vaishnava. So living as a religious householder in the city of Mithila within the kingdom of Vidya, he managed to fulfill his obligations while maintaining himself with whatever sustenance easily came his way. Brahmanas are very self-satisfied. Whatever comes in an easy way, they accept. Krishna wanted to see these two devotees wanted to see them. So he came all the way from Dwarka to Mithila. One was the Mithila's king, Bahulashva, and another was the resident of the Mithila, a Brahmana, name is Shrutadev. So Krishna wanted to see them both, so he came to Mithila. So we are hearing some of the qualities of Brahmana. By the will of providence, he obtained each day just what he needed for his maintenance and no more. Satisfied with this much, he properly executed his religious duties. It is also needed for us to develop this Brahminical quality. As we get the second initiation, we must have this quality also developed. We must develop this quality. That we should not spend our whole time and energy and skill and our everything, abilities, for only earning money, for filling the belly, right? We must save time and energy and skills for developing our favorable, sweet, loving, intimate relationship with Krishna. This is our goal. Our goal is to achieve full Krishna consciousness and to be situated in pure Krishna consciousness. Unless we are situated in pure Krishna consciousness, how can we be able to remember Krishna at the time of death? Thus can be eligible for going back to Godhead, or in other words, to enter into the Nitya Leela, which is going on in the spiritual world. And this is the real miseries in our life, that we are bereft of that wonderful, blissful pastimes are going on in the spiritual world, and we are not there. We are not part of that wonderful pastimes of Krishna. But that is our birthright, but we have to achieve the qualification to enter. That is the real misery. We think we are suffering from so many miseries in this material world, but it's the real point of misery, that we are not in our right place. We are not in our proper place and in a proper existence and in our natural proper function. Natural blissful existence is not being realized or being experienced here. That is the real miseries we are hearing, right? That is blissful, full of knowledge and full of cognizance and eternal. Nothing is being realized here or experienced. So we must have time, energy for that to become properly qualified. Similarly, free from false ego was the ruler of that kingdom, my dear Parikshit, a descendant of the Mithila dynasty named Bahulashva. Both these devotees were very dear to Lord Achyuta. One is king, one is a simple Brahmin citizen. Both are pure devotees of Lord Krishna. This is the point. And Krishna is equally merciful to them, both of them. They were very dear to Krishna, both. Pleased with both of them, the Supreme Personality of Godhead mounted his chariot with Daruka had brought, and traveled to Videha with a group of sages. Very beautiful things are coming up. Among these sages were Narada, Vamadeva, Atri, Krishna Dvaipayana, Vyasa, Parashurama, Asita, Aruni, myself, means Shukadev Goswami, Brihaspati, Kanava, Maitreya, and Chavana. All the exalted Muni, Rishis, Brahmanas, associates, all accompanied Lord Krishna to go where? To go Mithila. Because Krishna wanted to see those two devotees. But two devotees, he came all the way from Dwarka with all some his associates. Krishna is never alone, but here wonderful associates also accompanied by him. And wherever Krishna passed, the town and cities, the people came forward to worship him, with offering of arghya, water in their hands. They worship very nicely. So Krishna passed many countries: Anarta, Dhanva, Kurujangala, Matsya, Panchala, Kunti, Madhu, Kekaya, Koshala, many kingdoms. And then, while he was passing those countries, simply by glancing at those people who came to see him, Lord Krishna, the spiritual master of the three worlds, delivered them from the blindness of materialism. Materialism makes us blind. Blind means blind to see the soul. We are blind not to see. We cannot see the soul, perceive the soul, and perceive Krishna's presence everywhere. We have Achit Darshan. We see everything material. Ultimately, everything is spiritual because coming from Krishna, and Krishna's energy is originally one. Gauriya Darshan means Swarup Darshan, Jiva Swarup Darshan, Jagat Swarup Darshan, Krishna Swarup Darshan, Gauriya Darshan. Jagat is the paraphernalia for Krishna's pleasure, not for us. So we must be very respectful and in a service mood or attitude. We must live in this world, not in a mood of enjoy. So Krishna purifies our materialism. Srila Prabhupada says one beautiful point. Here Krishna is known as Jagat Guru, spiritual master of the three worlds. Srila Prabhupada says if we accept Gauranga Mahaprabhu as the spiritual master and accept Jagannath, Lord Jagannath as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we get the benefit of combined mercy of Guru and Gauranga. Means Guru and Krishna. Guru and Krishna. So Krishna is Jagat Guru, and he appeared as Gauranga Mahaprabhu in the garb of a devotee, but to teach us, means he is a teacher. Jagat Guru. We must accept Guru. So Gauranga Mahaprabhu is perfect Guru, and accept Jagannath as the Supreme Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is Madhurya Vigraha, sweet personification, sweetness. And Krishna's Audarya Vigraha is Gauranga, magnanimous form is Gauranga, and Gauranga's Madhurya form is Krishna. There's no difference. Krishna's Audarya form is Gauranga, Gauranga's Madhurya form is Krishna. And Krishna's Vrindavan, Gauranga's Navadvip Dham are none different. So, beautiful point, just side way we are hearing. So, ultimately, Shri Krishna and with all the associates arrived at Vidaha, or the Mithila country, Mithila. As soon as the people saw Lord Uttama Shloka, their faces and hearts blossomed with affection. Joining their palms above their heads, they bowed down to the Lord and to the sages accompanying him, whom they had previously only heard about. So Mithila's residents were very surprised to see all the exalted associates. And they were very happy. See, by seeing the Lord, the affection was awakened in their hearts. Both the king of Mithila and Shrutadev fell at the Lord's feet, each thinking that the spiritual master of the universe had come there just to show him mercy. See, side by side, the king and the Brahmana came to see Lord Krishna, and both they were thinking same way, because pure souls of pure realized, self-realized souls, they think same. Same means how Krishna is great, how Krishna is so wonderful. They both were thinking, to show him personal affection. Krishna has arrived. At exactly the same time, King Mithila and Shrutadev each went forward with joint palms and invited the Lord of the Sharhas to be his guest, along with the Brahmana sages. See now, beautiful point is coming, beautiful narration, beautiful pastime. Both of them requested at the same time, simultaneously, to come to their resident place of living, places of living. Wanting to please them both, the Lord accepted both their invitations. Thus he simultaneously went to both homes, and neither could see him entering the other house. The beautiful Krishna's mercy. Krishna then expanded into two, Srila Prabhupada says very, very beautifully in Krishna book. I love to read this portion, these pastimes in Krishna book, how Krishna mercifully, expanded into two, and then all the sages also expanded, means not by the sages, but Krishna expanded himself into those sages. And then both group went to the Bahulasha, King Bahulasha's house, into both houses, because Krishna wanted to please them both. So he entered into their houses, both houses simultaneously, went to the both homes, and neither could see him entering the other's house. It is called Vaibhava Prakash. Just like Krishna expanded into 16,000 forms to marry each and every princess. So similarly here, Krishna expanded himself. And he expanded himself into so many exalted rishis, Vyasadeva, Shukadeva, Narada, Maitreya, Kanva, other Asita, different sages we read before. So what did they do? First we are hearing the description of King Bahulashva. When King Bahulashva, a descendant of Janaka, saw Lord Krishna approaching his home from a distance with the sages, who were somewhat fatigued from the journey, he immediately arranged to have seats of honor brought out for them. After they were all comfortably seated, the wise king, his heart overflowing with joy and his eyes clouded with tears, bowed down to them and washed their feet with intense devotion. Taking the water which could purify the entire world, he sprinkled it on his head and the heads of his family members. Then he worshipped all those great lords by offering them fragrant sandalwood paste, flower garlands, fine clothing, and ornaments, incense lamps, arghya, and cows and goats. So he was a king, so he could do everything in a so elaborate way, in detail. But how about the Brahmana? we are going to hear later. When they had eaten to their full satisfaction for the further pleasure, the king began to speak slowly and in a gentle voice as he held Lord Vishnu's feet in his lap and happily massaged them. King Sri Bahulashwa said, "O Almighty Lord, you are the soul of all created beings, their self-illumined witness, and now you are giving your audience to us who constantly meditate on your lotus feet." You see, King Bahulashwa and the Brahmana both lived in Mithila, but they never went to Dwarka to see them. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, they took vow to worship their personal deities at home, so they never went to Dwarka. Means they never, stopped worshipping their personal deities for a one day event. So they did not leave the deity's home and went somewhere. So that's why Krishna came to see them. See, deity worship is Krishna worship directly. Krishna knows that one is worshipping me directly in meditative form. That is me. This is an inconceivable attribute of Krishna. He is Almighty Lord. He can appear in the form of sound, vibration, fully. He can appear as a narration of his pastimes. He can appear as deity. That is his prerogative. And Krishna is all cognizant, so he knows everything. So by the worship of the deities, Krishna became so pleased that he came to see them. And beautiful point, Bahulashwa saying, "You have said neither Ananta goddess Shri nor Anvur Brahma is dearer to me than my unalloyed devotees. To prove your own words true, you have now revealed yourself to our eyes." Krishna reciprocates equally to everyone. Krishna says that my pure devotees are more dearer than my own life. He said that in Srimad Bhagavatam we read. So King Bahulashwa says that you are proving your words. What person who knows this truth would ever abandon your lotus feet when you are ready to give your very self to peaceful sages who call neither their own? Sages or Brahmanas are self-realized souls. They don't have this sense of positiveness for anything, but they possess only one, that is Krishna. So Krishna comes to them. These things are very beautiful points when I read the pastime, because Tattva must be also understood very nicely. Appearing in the Jadu dynasty, you have spread your glories, which can remove all the sins of the three worlds, just to deliver those entrapped in the cycle of birth and death. The Krishna appears and Krishna exhibits his wonderful pastimes. So by hearing those pastimes, what happens? Our all sins are removed. And we get delivered from what? From the entrapment of the cycle of birth. It's very strong word. We are stuck here. And we must get out. Obeisances to you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Your intelligence is never unrestricted. Obeisances to sage Nara Narayana, who always undergoes austerities in the perfect way. So now Shukadev Goswami continued. That after glorifying Lord Krishna, the king requested Krishna to stay for a few days in his house. So now Shukadev Goswami is now speaking about the Brahmana. that how beautifully Lord King of Mithila, Baulasha, welcomed Lord Krishna. Now, how the Brahmana welcomed, let's try to understand side by side. Very wonderful, stark difference. Shukadev Goswami said, thus invited by the king, the Supreme Lord, sustainer of the world, consented to stay for some time to bestow good fortune on the men and women of Mithila. Shrutadeva received Lord Achyuta into his home with as much enthusiasm as that shown by King Bahulashva. After bowing down to the Lord and the sages, Shrutadeva began to dance with great joy, waving his shawl. See, the devotees, when they see Lord, they forget everything and express their blissful, ecstatic love by dancing, by singing. Shrutadeva, the simple Brahmana, showed the same enthusiasm. And he began to dance with a great joy, waving his dhotis. I see, in so many kirtanas, the girls, they wave their skirts, and the Prabhus, they wave their dhotis. Immediately remember this pastime of Shrutadeva. In great jubilation in front of Krishna and sages, he danced, waving. After bringing mats of grass and dorba straw and sitting his guest upon them, he greeted them with words of welcome. Then he and his wife washed their feet with great pleasure. And in a simple hut, he provided everything very simple by borrowing from the neighbors, a lot of things he didn't have, but he borrowed from the neighbors. And he managed to offer those things to Lord Krishna and his associates. With the wash water, the virtuous Shrutadeva copiously sprinkled himself and his house and his family overjoyed. He felt that all his desires had now been fulfilled. Devotees are very satisfied, self-satisfied actually. Why? They're satisfied being Atma, Atma Rama. They're Atma Rami. Devotees are Atma Rami. They were satisfied within. Why? By being Atma, by being part and parcel of Krishna, and by realizing Krishna within the heart, who is inside, they're always satisfied. They don't have any more hankering, na shochati, na kankshati, no more lamentation, no more demand. They never bother Krishna for any necessities. They know very well that Krishna knows everything. I don't need to bother my Lord. I must serve my Lord. My Lord is within my heart. Because that point is coming from Shrutadeva, because he was a Brahmana, enlightened person. He knew the scripture very well. He said, he worshipped them with offerings of auspicious items easily available to him, such as fruits, ushira root, pure nectarian water, fragrant clay, tulasi leaves, kusha grass, and lotus flowers. Then he offered them food that increases the mode of goodness. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti says that his wife cooked just simple rice and dal and fed Krishna and everyone. And with simple offering. Krishna doesn't see what we are offering. Simple, Krishna sees the heart, how we are offering everything. In which mood. He wondered, how is that I, fallen into the blind well of family life, have been able to meet Lord Krishna, and how have I also been allowed to meet these great Brahmanas who always carry the Lord within their hearts. Indeed, the dust of their feet is the shelter of all holy places. So it says a lot, right? Means, why the family life is called as blind well, because easily we can be deviated from the service of the Lord. We may think I'm the Lord and Master of the family, I'm the king, my wife is the queen, Children are my subjects, and the servants, and my possessions, the home is my kingdom, right? So this is very easy, and not much interested in spiritual life. Spiritual life is like in the side track, not in the main track, right? As the main priority, that I must be self-realized, I must complete my Krishna consciousness before my next death comes. I must complete, I must become fully purified, pure soul again, right? Fully realized, pure part and parcel of Krishna must be situated in my Krishna consciousness. That is the real responsibility as a human being, right? Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, Krishna has seen some qualities, good qualification in us. That's why he gave us the human body. So he hoped that after getting this human body, we would engage ourselves in Krishna bhajan, and then would go back to him in the spiritual world, would join him. But if we are not serious, and if we are misusing this human body for sense enjoyment, then we disappoint Lord. For the purpose he gave us the human body is totally ruined. From the animal lives, through the evolutionary process, we came to the human form. Now, if we're doing the same animal propensities, animal things, eating, sleeping, then we will go back to the animal life again. We lose. So as a householder, is very easily we give ourselves into sense enjoyment. When his guests were seated comfortably, having each received a proper welcome, Shrutadev approached them and sat down nearby with his wife, children, and other dependents. Then, while massaging the Lord's feet, he addressed Krishna and the sages. Beautiful. Baulasha, King Baulasha also did the same thing. He massaged Lord's feet. He took the Lord's feet on his lap, and here also Shrutadev did the same thing, and he spoke very nicely. He said, Shrutadev said, it is not that we have attained the audience of Supreme Personality of Person only today, for we have in fact been associating with him ever since he created the universe with his energies and then entered it in his transcendental form. So, although in the past times we see that Krishna came to Shrutadev for the first time, actually it is not the case. He said, Lord, we've been associating with you, or you've been associating with us from time immemorial, when you entered into the material creation. So in the Krishna book, nicely Srila Prabhupada says, my dear Lord, he said, you are the Supreme Person, Purushottam, transcendentally situated beyond the manifested and unmanifested material creation. The activities of this material world and of the conditioned souls have nothing to do with your position. We can appreciate that not only today have you given me your audience, but you are associating with all the living entities as Paramatma since the beginning of creation. We forget this point because we are not attentive to Krishna's points. He said, Prabhupada writes, this statement by the Brahmana is very instructive. It is a fact that Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, in his Paramatma feature, enters the creation of this material world as Mahavishnu, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, and Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, and in a very friendly attitude, the Lord sits along with the conditioned soul in the body. Therefore, every living entity has the Lord with him from the very beginning. But due to his mistaken consciousness of life, the living entity cannot understand this. When his consciousness, however, is changed into Krishna consciousness, he can immediately understand how Krishna is trying to assist the conditioned souls to get out of the material entanglement. So beautiful point spoken by Shutadev, that Krishna is always within us. We are not associating with Krishna. Krishna is associating with us. He is present. So by realizing this point, a soul gives up the hankering and lamentation. He becomes so blissful, joyful. More nice way Shutadev is speaking. The Lord is like a sleeping person who creates a separate world in his imagination and then enters his own dream and sees himself within it. This point is also very beautiful. As we know, Mahavishnu's lying, Karano Dukkashai, Karano, some ocean, and also he is sleeping, Karano ocean. So Shutadev is speaking that in his dream he created this material, manifestation. So Srila Prabhupada is writing in Krishna book, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Shutadev continued, my dear Lord, you have entered this material world as if sleeping. A conditioned soul, while sleeping, creates false or temporary worlds in his mind. He becomes busy in many illusory activities, sometimes becoming a king, sometimes being murdered, or sometimes going to an unknown city, and all these are simply temporary affairs. Similarly, your Lordship, apparently also in a sleeping condition, enters this material world to create a temporary manifestation, not for your personal necessities, but for the conditioned soul who wants to imitate your Lordship as enjoyer. The conditioned soul's enjoyment in this material world is temporary and illusory, and yet the conditioned soul is by himself unable to create such a temporary situation for his illusory enjoyment. To fulfill his desires, although they are temporary and illusory, you enter this temporary manifestation to help him. Thus, from the beginning of the conditioned soul's entering into the material world, you are his constant companion. When, therefore, the conditioned soul comes in contact with a pure devotee and takes to devotional service, beginning with the process of hearing your transcendental pastimes, glorifying your transcendental activities, worshipping your eternal form in the temple, offering prayers to you, and engaging in this discussion to understand your transcendental position, he gradually becomes freed from the contamination of material existence, and his heart becomes cleansed of all material dust. You gradually become visible to there. You gradually become visible there. Although you are constantly with the conditioned soul, only when he becomes purified by devotional service do you become revealed to him. Others who are bewildered by fruitive activities, either by Vedic injunction or by customary dealings, and who do not take devotional service, are captivated by the external happiness of the bodily concept of life. You are not revealed to such persons. Rather, you remain far, far away from them. But for one who engages in your devotional service and purifies his heart by constant chanting of your holy name, you are very easily understood as his eternal constant companion. These are all within the realm of pure devotional service. These are the elements within the spiritual pure devotional service to Lord. And Prabhupada says, more point, it is said that your lordship sitting in the heart of a devotee gives him direction by which he can very quickly come back home, back to Godhead. Tadami buddhi yogam. This direct dictation by you reveals your existence within the heart of the devotee. Actually, it's true. It's true. If any speaker can experience very wonderfully. When we speak in the classes, so many wonderful points come from within. Who supplies? Krishna, within, from within. When we fully engage our attention to Krishna, then really we easily realize that he is within our heart. Only a devotee can immediately appreciate your existence within his heart, whereas a person who has only a bodily concept of life and is engaged in sense gratification, you always remain covered by the curtain of yoga maya. Such a person cannot realize that you are very near, sitting within his heart. For a non-devotee, you are appreciated only as ultimate depth. Because Shruta Devi is saying that. You impose death on the non-devotee. You come as death. For the devotees, it's a chance for going back home back to Godhead. Devotees are never fearful about death. They understand that soul, moves from here to there. That's it. Just like we move from one room to another room, one country to another country, one city to another city. Death is like that. The difference is like the difference between a cat carrying its kitten in its mouth and carrying a rat in its mouth. In the mouth of a cat, the rat feels its death, whereas the kitten in the mouth of the cat feels motherly affection. Similarly, you are present to everyone, but the non-devotee feels you are ultimate cruel death, whereas for a devotee, you are the supreme instructor and philosopher. The atheist, therefore, understands the presence of God as death, but the devotee understands the presence of God always within his heart, takes dictation from you, and lives transcendently unaffected by the contamination of the material world. So it's so wonderfully, Srila Prabhupada also explained, in Krishna book about this chapter. Very wonderful philosophy is there, spoken by Shruta, the Brahmana, how the devotees ultimately realizes that Krishna is with him all the time. He is never alone. By the devotional purity it happens. That's the point. We cannot order Krishna. We cannot induce Krishna. Be present before me. Make yourself visible to me. Come to my knowledge that you are into my heart. No, sir. So he said very beautifully, the Shruta about that, that you come as death to non-devotees, but you come as a merciful mother to a devotee. Death is perceived as merciful mother. Mother is kindly taking me to the safe place, that is the spiritual world. Nicely he said, O Lord, you are the Supreme Soul and we are your servants. How shall we serve you? My Lord, simply seeing you puts an end to all the troubles of human life. Beautiful verse. Shruta is speaking in the text number 49. Satvam sadhi svabhityamna kim deva karavan mahe etad anto ninam klesha yad bhavan akshigochara. Beautiful. My Lord, simply seeing you puts an end to all the troubles of human life. Seeing the deities, we have the same same effect. So now Shukdev Goswami says that after hearing Shrutadeva speak these words, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who relieves his surrendered devotee's distress, took Shrutadev's hand in his own and smiling spoke to him and spoke. So Krishna reciprocated. Krishna took the hand of Shrutadev in his hand and said, now please worship my associates. That's the point. He says, beautiful point. The Supreme Lord said, my dear Brahmana, you should know that these great sages have come here just to bless you. They travel throughout the world with me, purifying them with the dust of their feet. So Krishna now instructed to Shrutadev to worship his associates. One can gradually become purified by seeing, touching, and worshipping temple deities, places of pilgrimage, and holy rivers, but one can attain the same result immediately simply by receiving the glance of exalted sages. Sri Krishna says, because the Krishna is known as Bhakta Bhaktiman, that point is coming. Krishna upholds the devotees, upholds the devotees so much. He gives so much honor, love, and respect to his own devotees. Now he spoke to Shrutadev that one can become immediately purified by the glance of the exalted sages. And we know in our lives, right? Srila Prabhupada is the proof. When he went to the Western world, by his just simple glance, pure glance, whatever way he cast his glance, merciful glance, devotees became, the conditioned soul became purified. Recently, I attended my Guru Maharaj's, seminar. I felt the same way, feeling so much deeply connected with Krishna through Guru. By his merciful glance, I became overwhelmed, purified, feeling very pure inside, fully connected with Krishna and Guru Parampara and the spiritual world. Whatever he spoke about the spiritual world, he gave the seminar on Brahma Samhita. So he spoke a lot about the spiritual world. Immediately it was like visible by the mercy of the pure devotee. It happens. Krishna is speaking that. And very immediately, quickly, by his very birth, Brahmana is the best of all living beings in the world, and he becomes even more exalted when he is endowed with austerity, learning, and self-satisfaction. This is the very wonderful quality of the Brahmana. But to speak of devotion to me, Krishna was glorifying Shrutadeva as Brahmana. Actually, he was more than Brahmana. He was a Vaishnava, Kirshna. And he said more, Krishna said, even my own four-armed form is no dearer to me than the Brahmana. Within himself, a learned Brahmana comprises all the Vedas, just as within myself I comprise all the demigods. Krishna is now glorifying those devotees. Ignorant of this truth, foolish people neglect and enviously offend a learned Brahmana, who, being none different from me, is their spiritual master and very self. They consider worshipable only such obvious manifestations of divinity as my deity form. So as we becoming advanced in spiritual life, progressing more and more in spiritual life, we understand the glories of the pure devotees of Krishna. They are none different from Krishna. Guru Krishna Prasadipai Bhakti Lata Bij, and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, without Guru Kripa, Vishwanath Chakravarti, how can we achieve Krishna Kripa? Guru and Krishna, we need both. Without Guru mercy, we cannot. Because he has realized me, a Brahman is firmly fixed in the knowledge of everything moving and non-moving in the universe, and also the primary elements of his creation. All are manifest form, expanded from me. So a learned Brahmana, always aware of all all manifestations. These are all Krishna's manifestations. This material world is not meant for our enjoyment. It is Krishna's manifestation, another manifestation. As we also know, Vishnurupa. So therefore, we should not hanker for enjoyment, enjoying the material world. So last verse, very beautifully, Shukadev Goswami is speaking as Bhagavan as Bhakta Bhaktiman. See, 59. Evam swa bhaktayo rajan Bhagavan Bhakta Bhaktiman Ushitva Sanmargam Punar Punar Dwara Patim Agat Evam swa bhaktayo rajan Bhagavan Bhakta Bhaktiman Ushitva Samargam Punar Dwara Patim Agat. O King, thus the personality of Godhead who is devoted to his own devotees, who is the Bhaktiman, to his own Bhakta, Bhagavan Bhakta Bhaktiman. This line I love so much. Bhagavan Bhakta Bhaktiman, who is devoted to his own devotees, stayed for some time, and he is with his two great devotees, Shrutadev and Bahulashva, teaching them the behavior of a perfect saint. Then the Lord returned to Dwarka. That is the last verse of this chapter, 59. So in this way, we heard very wonderful pastimes of Krishna, that Krishna blesses his devotees. Krishna definitely fulfills the desire. He loves his devotees more than he loves his own self. By this pastimes we come to know. Right? So thank you so much. Thank you very much for allowing me to read the whole chapter with you, to relish the pastimes with all of you. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Bo. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Savitri Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you. Thank you for reading and explaining this entire chapter. It's actually very, very beautiful to see how the Lord is interacting with both his devotees. And when you were talking about him waving his chadar and connecting it to how, devotees kind of wave it in the Sankirtan, next time I'll remember this, like how you remember it every time.
Yes.
And also it is so beautiful to see how the Lord actually very lovingly he took his hand and he put it in the hand of Shrutadeva and started speaking to him. Just that bonding, that is so beautiful, right? So I was just thinking of that. Thank you so much, Mataji, for helping us, meditate on this chapter. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you that you induced me to read this chapter, to meditate on Krishna's pastimes. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Is there any question here?
Hare Krishna, Savitri Mataji. I'm sorry I joined late. So,
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Pranam. I missed it beginning part. I just came to the end. I didn't realize.
Beginning part we just discussed about Nitya Leela and Prakat Leela, Aprakat Leela, Nitya Leela, Bhauma Leela, like that. And Bhauma Leelas are there to purify our consciousness, to attract our hearts to him. It's his arrangement. Nitya Leela is always going on in the Golok Dham. Our goal is to enter into Nitya Leela. Those portions we discussed. How Krishna is not different from his Leela.
Yes, sir. Yes, I will hear the recording, so I will know. I missed the beginning part. I just remember the join about 15-20 minutes ago. So I hear the Sukadeva and the masters teaching and glorification. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
You still in Mayapur? Or you came here?
Yeah, we came back to Mayapur. Yes, we are living in Mayapur. Yes.
Okay.
In whole week is dedicated for Krishna Leela.
Yes.
Yeah, Vyasa Puja celebrations going on.
Ah, yes.
Day, Sunday, every day.
Sunday. Saturday.
Srila
There is
Prabhupada
Sunday,
is-
here is Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, Krishna. Yeah, Janmashtami is Saturday. Is on Saturday here.
Here we have Friday and then Saturday is Prabhupada.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
That's how we have here.
Yeah, I know.
This is Baltimore.
I see.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you.
Very nice. It's nice to hear you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Savitri Mataji. This is my humble obeisances. So nice
Hare Krishna.
hear from you, and I would meet you and take your darshan in the Maharaj retreat to Stone.
Oh, yes. Anjana Gopal. Yeah. Yeah, very nice. Good fortune for me.
Again,
Yes,
you come at
And
last.
Kirtida.
So nice, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. It was so nice with full of tattva. Your class is always full of philosophy and experience. It's so nice, Mataji, hear from you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ejik Savitri Mataji. Your class is so inspiring and so inspiring. I learned so many things from you, Mataji. You explain the Leelas from your heart. Special mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sri Prabhupada. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna is the Brinda Gopika Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. Is there anything else?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. It's me.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for the class today. In the beginning, or near the beginning, you were mentioning Subhadra and how she has, so many names. I think, she's known as Mahamaya. She's known as. So I feel like I'm always a little hazy about her personality. I think you said that she is the daughter of Vasudeva and Devaki, right?
No, Rohini.
Oh, Vasudeva and Rohini. That's right. And but was it Subhadra who Kamsa tried to kill but she slipped out of his hands? Was that the same? But no.
Because Durga's husband is Lord Shiva. Durga's personality, she is Durga, Mahamaya, Yoga Maya. Actually, here there's not much scope to discuss, but very interesting. Whenever I see Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra, I remember beautiful tattva. Who is she? Subhadra. Our Acharya says she is devotional Shakti, Bhakti Shakti. So Baladev is Guru Tattva, Bhakti and Krishna all together. Yes, Prabhupada also says she is Mahamaya in one place. Actually, Krishna's energies are infinite. How his energies act in different places, in different ways, it's simply inconceivable. Originally, the potency is one, but it expresses in so many ways, it divides in so many ways, acts in different ways. Durga is the shadow Shakti of internal potency. Internal potency's activity is to connect living beings with Krishna, and Mahamaya or material energy, separates, means puts the conditioned soul into illusion, means forgetful. So different ways, different energies act in a different situation and on the different levels, on different activities, for different purposes. Many times it is said that it was Jiva and Mahamaya, Yogamaya, how could just say like this? So there's no scope now to speak here, but very interesting that they are brother sisters, but not the same sister that was born from Mother Yashoda, right? The girl was born from Mother Yashoda and went to Mathura. Girl was born, Mother Yashoda was Yogamaya, but the girl went to Mathura, it was Mahamaya. See, same Shakti, different, became different. Went to the dungeon of Kamsa, right, in the prison house of Kamsa, and Kamsa took the Mahamaya and threw in order to kill. Just like Ravana kidnapped Mother Sita. Sita was the internal potency of Lord Rama? No. Shadow of Mother Sita he kidnapped. So, like Yogamaya's shadow was Mahamaya went into the dungeon of Kamsa, and Kamsa tried to kill her, but slipped out of his hand and went to the sky and spoke, no, you are unable to kill this child. That child will kill you. Already has taken. So that is not Subhadra either. So, but Krishna Shakti, that's Krishna Shakti. So, Bhakti Shakti, Subhadra is the mother of Abhimanyu, wife of Arjuna. So very interesting fact. We must try to realize Jagannath Tattva very wonderful, properly. Who is Jagannath and who is Baldev? Why Lord Chaitanya went to Kshetra, each Kshetra? What is the Kshetra Tattva? Vrindavan Tattva, Navadvip Tattva, and Purushottam Kshetra Tattva must be nice. As we know, Jagannath Rath Yatra is not just a festival, it's the festival of feeling. Feeling how Mahaprabhu felt, how Mahaprabhu exhibited his emotion, how Jagannath exhibited his emotion. So it's a festival of emotion or exhibition of emotion. So it's a deep, nice things. Whenever I read this chapter, these things I meditate. Okay.
Yeah, actually it was so difficult because the line was breaking so much. But like for example, when we see Subhadra in Rath Yatra, how should we view her as the daughter of Vasudeva and Rohini, or how? What should come to our mind?
Krishna's sister. Krishna's sister, brother. Krishna is enjoying with his brother and sister. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I could go on so long for
yeah.
Yeah.
Someday, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, thank you everyone. Thank you so much. Priti Vilasini, I think we can end the class now.
Thank you so much, Mataji. And
thank you
everyone for joining in discussion. We can end the call. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha
kripa sindhuvaiva cha patitanam
Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्री
भागवतम की जय, कृष्ण कथा की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल, हरे कृष्ण, गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, हरि बोल, हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. I'm sorry, Prithviraj Mataji. I missed today.
Oh, no problem at all, Mataji. No problem at all. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.